Alex Schultz, welcome to the Endurance Studio. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Dude, I want to start by saying your Chevy Tracker is so fucking rad. I have a 2004 Chevy Tracker. It's my wife's vehicle from high school. Okay, it's like the exact same model. Not like lifted and...
So it's a two-door?
It's a four-door.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So when did you get that thing?
Oh, 2017. It was in the garage for 5 years, working on it.
Oh, yeah. Doing all the positive locker and...
Custom stuff.
Yeah.
Custom suspension. I was kind of the designer behind it, and my buddy was the welder.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude.
New housemate. We moved in, and he's like, "You got any projects you want to do?" I'm like, "Actually, yeah."
Yeah, and this is in Michigan?
It was in Michigan. I left Colorado in 2018, and I brought that vehicle back with me to Michigan. And of course, the living expenses in Michigan are way cheaper. So we had garages on the property. We actually had 5 garages on the property. And that occupied a garage for the next 4 years or so. Just working on it whenever I had time, other than when I wasn't training on my bike.
Yeah. That's Marquette,
Yeah.
Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Did you grow up in that area?
Sort of. I spent a lot of time in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan growing up. I went to college at Michigan Tech in Houghton, which is close to Marquette, all the way west in the Upper Peninsula. It's actually closer to Duluth, Minnesota than anything, in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's an 8-9 hour drive northwest of Detroit. It's far up there. But I would spend a lot of my time, every break was Colorado, whether mountain biking or skiing, summer break, Christmas break. But as a kid, I did get to the Upper Peninsula a lot for hiking, backpacking, skiing, mountain biking.
You were always kind of an outdoor kid.
Yeah.
Would your parents also do the same? Would they expose you to different things?
Yeah, my dad actually didn't work much. He kind of hung out with my brother and I, and skiing, mountain biking, camping.
Yeah.
Just all summer, basically. All our summer breaks from elementary school at the time to middle school. And then I carried that on and into high school and college, and still do the same thing while working a 40-hour job.
Yeah. So were you doing competitive sports in high school and college?
Yeah, it started off with ski racing,
Okay.
alpine ski racing, which in Michigan you'd think not much vertical for skiing, but basically in order to keep it interesting, like you pretty much had to ski race or do something interesting with skiing rather than just going skiing.
Yeah.
So that was the racing aspect. And I think mountain biking, the competitive side of mountain biking kind of branched from that. I was mountain biking since middle school or before with my parents, but I think the competitive side of ski racing kind of drove the competitive side of mountain biking. And from just the basic XC mountain bike race that a lot of high school kids do in the high school league, to college mountain biking, to 100-mile race series, to multi-day races, to bikepacking, self-supported races.
Yeah, I think I read that your first endurance race was 2019, maybe? Ultra bikepacking race. Was it 2019?
Yeah, so the CTR.
That was your first with CTR?
Yeah.
Dude, that's gangster. It's like feet into the fire on that one, right?
Yeah, and I didn't realize that at the time.
Okay.
I just kind of normalized it. But yeah, it's definitely feet into the fire.
So what was it like at the end of that first day on your first bikepacking race on CTR? What was going through your head?
So in 2019, it was a Durango start, which was my first one.
Okay.
So the harder start.
Right. So you go
top
like
it off.
Indian Ridge and all that stuff at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. Which is just gnarly.
Yeah.
You just climb straight up into the ridiculousness.
Yeah. 6,000 foot hike bike, start off your first, or not a 6,000 foot hike bike, but 6,000 foot climb, topping it off with a hike bike to Kennebec Pass.
Yeah.
To start my first bikepacking race ever. But I had been doing rides like that for a long time, so it didn't feel that out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
And I did get some altitude sickness that day, and I think it stemmed from going too hard as an XC racer, 100-mile National Ultra Endurance Series type racer. So still, like, everybody says ultras, but ultras can mean like what we did today in the Arizona Endurance Series.
Right, which
ultras,
was 60 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultras can mean 100 miles on a mountain bike. Ultras can mean 800 miles in the AZT 800. I mean, there's a lot of definitions to it. So,
but it's different when it's multi-day, right? I think that's a differentiator.
Right, multi-day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I got to Rolling Pass that first day, and I was like, wow, like my stomach hurts. I got a headache. Like, what are you going to do? And I didn't really care at that point. I didn't care about being competitive. I just was thrilled to be out there. So I just slept. I was like, well, whatever, your stomach hurts, go to sleep. Like, I don't care. And I slept like 8-hour nights that whole race. Maybe I pushed it the last night. And, rolled into Silverton the next morning. And, I didn't make the resupply, obviously, because I just went to sleep that night. So I rolled in the next morning. And I had a nice casual breakfast. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to go do Stony Pass. And I didn't really think much of it. It was just basically 5 hard days on my bike. And slept a lot and ate a lot.
It's like a normal person's bikepacking trip.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
But I guess being a pretty proficient National Ultra Endurance Series 100-mile mountain bike racer for a lot of years, I could go pretty fast, keep my moving speed pretty fast, and then rest a lot, which really paid off in that first one. So at the second day, I think my stomach hurt at the next pass before Lake City, Slumgullion, or what's the one before Slumgullion?
Dude, I was in a haze going the other direction at this point, so I don't know.
Yeah.
After
I've done the thing 6 times. You'd think I'd know them all.
It just kind of blurs.
Yeah, it does just kind of blur.
So did you have a bunch of gear that, you made a bunch of bad decisions on in 2019, like sleep kit, or were you pretty thoughtful with it from the start?
I definitely had bad gear. I didn't think that at the time when I was out there. I didn't realize it was bad. It worked. I mean, ultimately, you just need to keep moving.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot for me to stop moving. I can have a lot of setbacks and still be motivated to finish. But yeah, I carried like this huge tarp, like huge heavy tarp, and didn't use it once. But it was miraculously good weather that year in 2019.
Yeah.
There was a lot of snow. We had a lot of hike-a-biking snow in the San Juans, the high section between Silverton and Lake City. There was a lot of snow. But other than that, it was like sun for 5 days, and I don't think it rained once.
And you carried a big old canvas military tarp.
Like this stupid tarp, just huge and heavy. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't even think I knew what a bivvy was.
Right.
When I started.
Right.
And a pretty heavy sleeping bag. I mean, it fit in my handlebar bag still. A stupid seat post bag. I don't use seat post bags anymore. Just kept rubbing the rear tire. That was my first and last bikepacking trip or race with a seat post bag.
No way.
Ditched that.
Ditched that in 2019.
Yeah.
And you haven't ridden a seat bag since.
I used one in the AZT 800 in 2023, but it was very minimal. It was like the Toe Peak burrito bag, like nothing, just to carry some extra light batteries. And it wouldn't hit the tire. It was fine. You hardly even notice it.
And was this a full suspension bike then?
Yeah, it's been full suspension. On all these trail races, the CTR or the AZT, I've always had a full suspension.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd do it any other way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the seat post bag has been eliminated. I've tried the tail fin bag. Still hits you in the backside. It was fine for like Tour Divide.
Yeah.
But I just can't see myself running. I'm interested in like the Old Man Mountain bag. It seems like it's further back. And Tailfin has redesigned their aero pack or whatever it's called to be more back and slimmer, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But the first one, I was like, how are people riding this on the trail? Like, this is like ridiculous. Like on Tour Divide, it's fine. You're on the road.
Right. Yeah. A couple years ago on AZT, I think you won it that year. 23, maybe? Did you win it 23?
Yeah, I won in 23.
Yeah. Congrats on
Thanks.
that. I was doing the 300 and I saw a ton. It was like right when those rear racks were getting super popular.
Yeah.
And I saw a ton of them on the trail, dude. And all I could think about was like the single points of failure down at wherever it connects, the hubs, or like some of them would clamp onto those seat stays. And I just was thinking, man, with people with a substantial amount of weight in those things, they're just flopping around. And it's just this, all the leverage is like down on those seat stays, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, nah.
I did
Seems
hear
like a bad
about
idea.
someone's clamps, the tail fin rack failing in Tour Divide this year.
Yeah.
They had to come up with some sort of solution.
Yeah, I've used a tail fin one time for a ride across Arizona. It was like a 600-mile gravel ride, and it was good. It held up well. I think like the engineering on it is as good as it's going to get for that sort of system. I don't think there's a place to connect to that's going to be any better or more stable or more safe, right? It's just a matter of those little pins that stick out the side on the quick release.
Yes.
Right? Because I think it has I think they all have like that quick release system.
It's like snap pins.
Yep.
And mine was fine. I've had no issues with it.
Yeah.
I just, the design of the first one, and they've changed it. They're great about changing stuff, it seems like.
Yeah, they're pretty progressive. Do you know what broke on it on Tour Divide?
It was something with those clamps, is what I heard.
Yeah.
Just heard somebody was back at a shop, and maybe I heard this from another racer. Then I was kind of nervous about mine.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
Yeah.
It worked.
Does that stuff get in your head? Like points of failure, things you think are going to go wrong?
Before the race, yes. Like, I think I Loctited like every bolt I could find on my bike before the 800 this year.
Yeah.
And maybe the first few hours of the race, I'm like, okay, is everything going to hold? I remember this, I remember that. I tightened that bolt. I'm my own mechanic. And then, of course, it's like, okay, everything's good.
Yeah.
We're going to settle in for the next 790 miles or whatever it is.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah. Congrats on that too, dude. Like winning AZT this year.
Thanks.
And then, and finishing the Tour Divide.
Thanks.
Yeah. Just like such a insane effort. Most people, almost everyone cannot fathom how much time and energy, and you basically kind of somewhat back-to-backed it. I mean, and I want to go into last year a little bit, but just the time commitment to take it off of like work and the training commitment is unbelievable. Like most people don't understand what that takes.
Yeah, it's it's been hard. I'm ready for a break from Triple Crown events. So and like I said, it's been every CTR since 2019. So it's like
That's crazy.
you're done for a year.
Yeah.
Like it's at least a year minimum. I don't know how long, but I'm excited to do some shorter stuff.
Yeah, go do some other, like, there's so many bikepacking races now.
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
There's a lot of stuff on the list that I've wanted to hit, but it was like Triple Crown, get it done, and dial in your CTR and your AZT as much as you can, and then just go do Tour Divide, whatever, and then you've got a fast CTR and a fast AZT.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's hard to manage the 40-hour job and train and make the races. My company is very, very supportive and always wants me to be out there doing it whenever I can.
Yeah.
I guess I've kind of had to earn that over like 10 years working in engineering.
What type of engineering?
Civil, structural.
Yeah.
But in my old company in Vail, Colorado, the owner actually came out and met me in the middle of Tour Divide.
No way.
And I know I think what's the rule is multiple visitations probably.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Excessive, I think is the word that's used.
So one visitation, like, fine.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm gonna like tell everybody, hey, you can't come out see me at all.
Yeah.
Because that's against the rules. But they did. He brought the family and another coworker, and of course they had food. I was like, I'm not taking it. Like, it's just gonna be karma. Like, it's against the rules anyway. Like, I'm not.
Yeah,
they were surprised.
That's another level.
Yeah,
that's different.
Right. And I had plenty of food. I didn't need anything.
Yeah.
The Coke would have been nice, but
people want to give bike pack racers or racers, ultra race, any kind of running ultra race, they want to give you stuff so badly.
Yeah. And it's fine if it's like if it's somebody out there that doesn't know about the race.
Right.
Totally fine.
Right.
Take it.
Yeah. Trail magic. Right.
But like somebody who knows me, it's tracking, it's coming to visit. It's like, okay, I'm not.
That's not equal opportunity to everyone else. I think that's the line that gets drawn in the sand. Right.
Right.
Everyone else doesn't have that access. So that's where it's a problem.
And it's like, who's policing it? But it's also like, just, you're going to get the most, you're doing this thing for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, follow the rules and you'll probably come out better on the other side. Karma, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Just don't take it. So,
yeah.
It was cool to see them, though. It was an emotional boost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess back to the main topic, every workplace has been very supportive.
That's great. What's your training schedule look like? Do you start months in advance of something? Do you train in between? Like how would someone even begin to think about training for the Triple Crown?
I was just talking to Mateo. I don't know if you know Mateo Paez, but we actually I was riding with him in Tour Divide a bit this year, and we happened to be resupplying in Columbia Falls at the same time. And we were both at the gas station, 1 a.m. And we go to check out, I'm in front of him, he's behind me. And the cashier, some of the people you meet at Resupplies are always kind of interested in what you're doing. Like, what are you doing here? 1 a.m. you're buying like $80 worth of gas station food? Like, who are you?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Kind of a unicorn. They're not used to seeing a source.
So they bring up they always bring it up because you're always like out of your mind. You're like, you don't really want to explain what you're doing or go through all of the explanation of what's going on. But she keeps asking questions. We tell her, we're going to Mexico. She's what? Because Columbia Falls, Montana. And then that just brings on the questions. She's like, how do you train for something like that? And I looked at her just like with this super straight, serious face, apparently is what Mateo said. And I've been training for this my whole life. And she apparently like didn't like that answer. Mateo said she like stopped asking questions after that. I don't know. That was just we had just talked about this like 3 days ago.
Yeah, she thought you were messing with her probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to your point, like you normalize things like what we did today, which was a 60-mile hard AES race. Like that was a hard course. You start to normalize that stuff and you're just doing it all the time, right? And then you're always kind of like, you got this base and you're always kind of ready to roll.
Yeah, I like today, I didn't think about much today. I was just like, all right, 60 degrees. I can probably carry enough water for the whole race.
How much did you
Kind of just
carry?
like another day.
How much did you carry?
2 liters on the back. Half-liter flask in a pocket on the vest.
Okay.
2 like 16-ounce bottles. And that was just enough to get me back to the finish.
Yeah. Can you go pretty light on water, generally speaking?
I don't really know. Compared to some people, no. Compared to others, yes.
I mean, that's a very small amount of water for me, right? I would have run out. It would have been a problem.
Okay, so for you, then there's the answer.
5 liters, right? I carried 5 liters today. And I had half a liter when I was done. And I filled up at that second little bathroom. I filled half a bottle. So
I would guess that I had 3.5 or less today.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Because it was hot in a few spots. Not like hot. Well, I mean, you were cold. I was cold.
I've got sweatshirt on, vest. Yeah, I'm a full Arizona blood now. The Michigan, Colorado in me is gone. I don't know if I ever had it. I've always been cold.
Yeah.
Skier and everything.
Yeah. Do your hands get cold? Hands and feet?
Hands get cold. I've pulled so many frozen toes out of ski boots, race boots. I think I've damaged my feet.
So how do you deal with that on like the north half of Arizona Trail when it gets, I think a couple years ago, it got down to like 9 degrees or something on the North Kaibab?
I suffer.
Yeah? You haven't found like a solution to this?
Keep moving?
Yeah.
I guess so a couple years ago in 23, I actually made it before it got super cold, the 9-degree thing. I think the coldest I saw was close to 30. But yeah, I heard stories of like Johnny Price making fires on the trail.
Yeah.
But I wasn't quite at that level. This year, I think, was actually my coldest experience headed back toward Humphreys with the reroute.
Right.
I saw 26 on the Garmin climbing back to the AZT, headed south at this point.
Yeah.
To go do Humphreys back towards Snowball. And this was like if you're familiar, the lower part of the AZT, before you kind of get into the trees, the pine forest, it was like 26. And then I got into the thicker forest, like the deciduous stuff, right below Snowball. And the Garmin temperature climbed to like 32.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is it. Like, I'm sleeping here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing Humphreys tonight. I was like, there's enough of a lead. Like, I'm not going to suffer through this cold. Like, I could have done Humphrey. I would have been there like 1 a.m. or something, just freezing up there, I bet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for folks listening, so there was because the North Kaibab is closed, there was a bunch of fires, or there was a fire that closed down the Grand Canyon portage hike all the way through. So it was a modified route this year where the riders go all the way to the south rim of the Grand Canyon and then go down. You guys went down Tonto, or sorry, South Kaibab.
Down South Kaibab. It was more like across
Tonto. Yeah, and then up Bright Angel.
Yes.
Yep, and then you came back to Flagstaff, and then there was an optional hike without a bike up to the top of Humphreys.
I wouldn't say it was optional.
I mean,
John Schilling did say it was an option.
Technically, it was.
But 99% of folks signed up for it. So if you didn't sign up for it, that would have been pretty bad to not do it. So it was almost like not an option at that point.
The only people that didn't sign up for it scratched. I don't know if that's related or not, or correlated with hardcoreness, but But everybody who finished did it, I think.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're right.
Because the only people that didn't sign up for it scratched fairly early on. So yeah, hike without a bike up to the top of Humphreys, which is the highest peak in Arizona. So this was an interesting way to kind of counterbalance the additional mileage you have to put in on North Kaibab Trail. So I thought it was a great solution. I mean, John Schilling was kind of screwed. Like, how are you you got to put on a race, that still kind of makes the difficulty factor the same, roughly.
I have mixed feelings about it. Yes, there should be something to make up for the missed mileage in the canyon. That being said, you still don't have your bike on your back on Humphreys.
Right. Well, you can't.
But it is at almost 13,000 feet, and I definitely felt the elevation at that point.
Right.
It was just so cold. I think this was actually the hardest 800 I've ever done because we had to do another. It wasn't one hike at the same time. It's like make another transition and go back to this crazier cold that colder than I've ever experienced on the North Kaibab. And cold is my worst enemy in any bikepacking race. And cold and weather, I can deal with AZT technical all the time.
Yeah.
But throw weather and cold at me, and that's my weakness. So that I just thought it was harder, having to get off and make the transition again, deal with the cold. I was so cold that night before Humphreys, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And yes, maybe it kind of makes up for that, but I just don't think you can't make up for that experience of trudging that bike from Phantom Ranch to the base of the North Rim before you really start climbing. I mean, that is a long flat, and that flat just gets monotonous. And that bike back there is just, I think it's got to be one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, both mentally and physically. And then you just look up at these switchbacks, the trail up from the North Rim, and you're just like, how?
Yeah.
But you just keep going, and I've done it twice now. Done the full portage twice and the mini portage once. And yeah, that climb up the North Rim is just so hard. I don't know how you'd really make up for that physical experience. And I told John, it's like, I don't think it really makes up for the physical, maybe part of the mental, but it's just so unique.
Yeah.
Cresting the North Rim.
Yeah. Did you have gear shipped into the visitor center?
Yeah, I've done that all 3 times.
I think you had said that's the move versus the post office because the visitor center's open on the weekends, right?
And better hours.
Okay.
Just in general. I think it's 9 to 9. And I think isn't the post office probably 9 to 5. I haven't even looked into the post office.
Yeah.
But yeah, the visitor center in Tusayan is completely legal with the race, according to John.
Yeah. People were having stuff shipped to Payson.
Yeah, because then you can ship your cold weather gear to Payson, and really ultimately the transition to cold weather
is the rim. Yeah.
It's kind of the top of the Mogollon.
Yeah.
And it's kind of where you want it.
But it's like a day from the top of the Mogollon Rim to Flagstaff. Maybe like one long day.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah.
I've in 23 I rode from Pine to Flagstaff in one push, but that was a big day.
Yeah.
And that was getting to Flagstaff at like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's doable. I can make that push. It is a long push. It's all trail. And you get to like south of Flagstaff, like Anderson Mesa, and you just really hope that there's good weather. This year I didn't get it. And Anderson Mesa can just be death mud.
Yeah.
And I had to shoulder the bike and walk like 5-6 miles from like, you kind of descend down from Double Springs campground toward the Mormon Lake intersection, and then climb up to Anderson Mesa. And that whole thing, mud just packing into the bike, packing into the shoes. Couldn't even roll the bike. Could hardly even walk. It was just, I was out of food. I had 2 donuts left. I was like, well, these were going to get me to Flagstaff if I didn't have like an extra 5 hours right now.
Yeah.
To get through this mud.
Dude.
But it miraculously, after that extra time, the sun did come out and it dried out quick.
Yeah.
And I got halfway through Anderson, like back to the single track, and I could ride again. And definitely suffered without food. But it really wasn't anything that was really killing me.
Yeah.
Just a typical bikepacking race setback.
So what did you eat when you finally got food? Where did you eat? Like
I got 2 meals at Mary's Cafe plus dessert.
Shout out Mary's Cafe.
Every year.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then that Conoco there at the closest gas station to the AZT crossing of what's that major highway? You would know.
Yeah, it's the 89.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird Conoco. It's a little
is.
bit of weird Conoco. There's a Maverick like a little bit further down. If you're like, as dedicated to Maverick as I am.
I would rather have Maverick.
Yeah.
But it's always like, just get to the cafe, and then I've had like all this good food at the cafe. I ordered extra French fries this year.
Yeah.
And I took French fries to go. I think I finished those like before even the top out at Snowball leaving Flag.
Nice.
It's just having like fresh food, like hot food, even though it's not hot then when you pack it. It's just so much nicer than that gas station junk.
Yeah.
But then just after I have that good food, it's like, I'm good. I'll just go to the Conoco. I don't know. It's fine. By the time you're in Flagstaff in that race, you're just like, whatever. I'm good. Like, I'll just put this down the hatch and like it's calories.
Yeah.
Like it's just fuel at that point.
Now, do you have in the gas stations, do you have a go-to few types of food that you buy that works well for you?
Yeah, it's changed. Every race becomes a little different, but I think like each race I kind of get a theme. And this year it was like those yogurt covered raisins with the trail mix. Like as many of those as I could get.
Yeah.
I kept getting like the yogurt trail mix, like the yogurt covered stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was more toward the end when you're like craving something really substantial, not just like quick carbs, like at the beginning.
Right.
And you've got like this deep hunger, like 6 days into a race.
Usually protein. I mean, usually that's what it is for me. It's like I can fly on fumes on tailwind and sugar and stuff for like 2 days. And then you want a giant burger or a pizza or something just with like a big sit down meal.
Exactly.
That's a nice reset.
Yeah, like I packed a sit down meal at Summer Haven. I got a pizza at the Spigot. I packed half the pizza.
Oh, at the ADOT?
Yeah.
Yeah, from Kearney Pizza. Yeah. Shout out Kearney Pizza,
I've
dude.
timed that good the past 2 years. I've been there like right when they opened at like 10 a.m. or something.
Oh, yeah.
And I call from the top of Ripsey.
Right.
And
yeah, Johnny
there.
Price gave me that tip. He was like, there's only a small amount of cell phone service, and it's at the top of Ripsey. And it's like, 40 minutes or something to the ADOT yard.
Yeah, it's good. The timing works.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Squirrel's Nut Butter. They make adventure anti-chafe lube and healthy, organic, restorative skin salve. I don't leave home without it when I go on an adventure. I think it's the best in the business, and I am proud to be an ambassador. So check them out at squirrelsnutbutter.com and use my code ENDURANCE20, all caps, for 20% off.
Yeah.
I got a milkshake the last time I was there. A chocolate shake.
They have shakes at that pizza
chocolate
place?
shake. Yeah, I got a whole pizza, 2 liters of soda, and a chocolate shake when I did the 300. I was like, it was way too much. I couldn't carry it all, but I think I had to pour one of the sodas out because my eyes were a little bigger than my stomach at that moment, you know?
I probably would have found some way to take it.
I tried. I just tried to drink as much, and then, you know, it didn't work. Anyway.
Just having fuel, like if you can put out that energy and that amount of watts, like with that good food, like even taking the time to have that quality food, I think it pays off. Like with your moving speed, you're going to feel better.
Yeah.
And like some of my friends are like, why are you getting a pizza? Like that's the hack move. Like, why are you're not a hack. Like skip the pizza, but it's like that pizza really, that's kind of a key spot. Like that's a long Summer Haven. And in the 800, it's the carry is Summer Haven to Gold Canyon.
Yeah.
And I messed it up in 2023. I had to go to Superior. But the next 2 years, I didn't have to. But it's a long carry because you're not allowed to take from people at picket post, from people spectating that bring food.
There's Queen Valley.
Yeah.
If you time it, but it's super hard to time.
In 24, I didn't time it. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And I made the carry to Gold Canyon. This year, I was able to hit the gas station at Queen Valley.
Do you do a bunch of math? Do you like do the calorie math when you have to do carries like that?
Not at all.
Dude, come on. You just like stuff your bags or what?
I kind of just visualize it. Go by feel.
Come on.
I've never counted it for the start of any race.
No shit.
Yeah.
You're killing me, dude.
It's always worked. I mean, there's been some close calls.
Yeah. Like the donut situation from earlier.
Yeah, but that was like...
That was the mud's problem.
That was an unexpected rainfall in Arizona.
Right. And
which, you know, it's a bikepacking race. You should be prepared for anything to happen.
Yeah.
So it was my own fault. But the past 2 years, Anderson Mesa was fine.
Yeah, right.
So...
that spot's notorious, man, for mud.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. You visualize it. So you just lay it all out and you're like, that's good. That's a 8,000 calorie carry.
Pretty much.
Oh, man. People want to hear like, I'm extremely precise with every calorie. And I do X, Y, Z. No. Just wing it.
Just go.
Yeah.
Hey, I definitely, you know, I've suffered from that decision.
Yeah.
And I mostly in the first couple years of doing this type of stuff.
Yeah.
But really, it's like I just put so much energy into the training and everything else, I guess, but that I just don't really care or want to. And I've suffered from it, but now I've kind of I can go by feel.
Yeah.
At this point. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't recommend that. It's not a good way to start, especially if you haven't done a CTR or an AZT. Like,
right. And you've built off years of these experiences.
Yeah.
Right? Doing these races multiple times and learning as you go along.
Yeah.
Right. From those bad decisions. So you get yourself into some new stuff, you know, next year. Roll the dice a little bit.
Yeah, I might need to. I might dial that in next year.
Yeah. Look, dude, you're fast too. You are fast as fuck. Like today, you were just like, I tried to hang with you for, I don't know, an hour and a half, you and Chase, and it wasn't going to happen. And so when you're that fast, I think too, like, you can get away with a lot of stuff. Like you can gamble on stuff. Like Justinas, he gambles on a lot of stuff. He runs fast and loose, that guy.
Yeah.
And he can do it because he can get to places quicker. You know, not that he doesn't make mistakes occasionally, but I think there's a little more buffer.
There's a lot to be said for that. Yeah. That moving speed.
Yeah. You can it kind of compounds on itself where things like get easier and then they multiply and get easier and easier and easier because you get more efficient and you can get from from water source to water source faster. And so you don't have to carry as much. And so you don't have as much weight.
Yes.
And so there's this like multiple that happens. I found this like when I started, this race we did today was my first endurance ride I ever did over like more than 40 miles was this one back in 2019. And it took me like 8 or 9 hours or something to finish. And I carried so much water and just was not fit. And to contrast that to today, where it's like I basically finished in the exact same time as I finished last year because I have figured myself out. Right. Yeah. And I'm predictable. My body's predictable now, And so I think you've done that with the Triple Crown, probably.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you can dial it down to event specific and knowing exactly how much you need for certain carries.
Yeah.
But also, just knowing what the effort might be and what your body's going to need. Just knowing yourself better.
Yeah.
Just so many years from racing the shorter stuff to the longer stuff. It's just, and part of it is maybe just my mental capacity for doing anything else other than just the training and the racing is like, I can't add the mental capacity of thinking about the numbers for this food.
Yeah.
The mental capacity is just gone. I'm already at max.
Yeah. All the blood's in your quads.
Yeah.
It's left your brain.
Yeah. The brain's done.
It's left your frontal cortex. I had a sports psychologist, I think, on the pod like a year ago after CTR. And she was saying that I was asking her, like, why do I feel so, like slow when I drop into resupplies? I can't function when I drop into resupplies. I have trouble talking with the people at the counter when I'm trying to like order something in a resupply. And she said it's literally because all the blood has left your frontal cortex and gone to your legs, your extremities. And it's your executive function for decision making and future decision making that has less blood flow. Because I think there's a small subset of bikepackers that do really, really well and excel at resupplies. But most of us, I think, kind of fall apart at them and make a lot of poor decisions.
I've done both.
I've
had good ones. I've had a lot of bad ones.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. You go in there, you look at the counter, you look at the shelf, you're like,
yeah,
what am I doing here?
It's
how
like,
did I get here?
I lost a whole bunch of IQ points, I'm just like, and I gotta like get it together. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Going in with the plan has worked better for me. Like thinking about it ahead of time and being like, I'm going to do these 3 things,
Yeah. The thinking about ahead of time and knowing that it's coming when you do know.
Yeah.
Which most of the time you do know. You've done that much research.
Yeah.
That has helped a lot.
Yeah. And you practice that. I mean, you get good at it.
Yeah.
You're all loosey-goosey, but you're like pro level from practicing, just from repetition.
Yeah, just doing it.
Yeah. So, what happened in the Tour Divide last year in 2024?
So, ultimately, I got super sick.
Okay.
It was the snow year, all the crazy snow in Montana.
Right.
And so I started. It was fine. It was going fine, and then the weather hit like whitefish, and I was still fine at that point. But I was riding with 2 other guys. We were trying to make this push to get to Holland Lake. It was like a 225-mile day or something. And we did make it. And then Holland Lake actually ended up being closed. So then it was just a super spirit killer.
Yeah.
Slept in the outhouse at the campground there. Woke up to like 3 inches of snow and made the climb up from Holland, up Richmond in the snowstorm, like fresh tracks and a few inches of snow. And it was so muddy. I think we had some mud before that too. That it was like a lead up of things. So the zippers on both my rain jacket and my rain pants, maybe shortly after Richmond, I think it was you descend Richmond and then you're on this gravel road that can get super soupy to Ovando. And it was just like, it was warmer down there. So it was like this soupy mud and it just clogged everything. So the zipper came apart on the rain jacket.
Yeah.
The zipper came apart on the rain pants. So at that point, I was like tying them together. Was basically frozen all day. And that day was what socked it to me for the next 2 or 3 days that I battled it. The zippers actually clogged on my bags. So the one of the side zippers like came apart, which could still like partially close because you got to a certain point and then it would stop and it would partially close. So it's still okay. That wasn't really bothering me. Then it was the next day. It was the same thing. Like the soupy mud. Oh, I made Lincoln that night. So it was the soupy mud that whole night to Lincoln. Then Helena, there was another snowstorm up Lava Mountain. And just more riding through snow and wet. Another day on top of the first day, no zipper. And I think I got like a trash bag at that point. I think I went through Helena at a bad time when the outdoor bike shops were closed. And I was like, well, I'm not waiting to get a jacket.
Mm.
So I made like a makeshift. Maybe I should have waited. Made a makeshift like cover. But I was pretty messed up at that point. Like medicine, like the Dayquil pills, like milking myself, coughing, couldn't talk. Oh, Mateo and I split. This is when I met Mateo.
Yeah.
Mateo and I split a hotel in Lincoln. And I got there. He beat me there by a little bit. And I got there and I couldn't talk. Like, he's like, "Are you okay, dude?" And I'm like,
oh.
So I couldn't even talk. And like fever, like aches from the fever. So I knew at that point it was probably over. But I kept pushing, took medicine in Helena, rode out of Butte, went all the way to Lima, Montana, like almost Idaho. And like the mucus just got crazy nasty there. And I was like, this is definitely not healthy. So I talked to some people and they're like, yeah, I mean, you're not having the race you wanted, so you should probably just call it. So I called it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, it's going to be 2025.
For the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
But you did CTR and AZT anyway.
I felt
That
bad
same year.
about not finishing, and I still had planned on CTR and AZT.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have happened a year sooner. So it would have been one less CTR. It would have been 5 CTRs that I've done in a row. But I mean, I love those races. I love being out there. So I still wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And I had a good CTR in 24. It's the only CTR I've had where I've had no coughing whatsoever. And I don't know if it was a combination of a little bit wet, less dryness. Best CTR I've ever had in the 4 days. And the rest have been 5s. But the rest have been coughing, just nasty stuff. And it's like, I think I can't do the cold and the elevation and the weather. And my strength is just the heat in Arizona. Like I can take that and the brutality of the AZT. The Colorado environment just hasn't traditionally worked for me.
Yeah.
And that being said, it was smoky this year, so the smoke had a role in it this year.
Yeah. Yeah, there were, this year, you had like kind of some notable problems that I at least learned about. Tour Divide, I think you might have had issues with
Yep.
your batteries or something.
No.
Sorry, what was it?
So it was bird spokes.
The beard spokes, yeah. Right. You had issues with
which I've had issues ever since I got the wheel set.
Okay.
And started training on it. The bike was sponsored to me, so I kind of had some say in it. I wanted to try the wheels at first. But then, like, after I kept saying, like, I was breaking them in Tucson training the year before.
Yeah, and these are like...
So I didn't trust them.
Ultralight. This is like new spoke technology, right? The beard spokes. They're like ultralight. I'm not quite sure how they work, but aren't they like flexible or something?
They're ultra high molecular something.
Yeah.
That being said, I have had good success with another type of spoke they make.
Yeah.
I've had a personal wheel set that I really have liked. So I don't want to totally bash them, but man, their loop style spokes.
It didn't work for you. Yeah.
And they claim it was because of the machining on the hub. It was the bird specific hub and they were all breaking at the loop end. They like loop into the flange, the hook on the hub.
Yeah.
They're saying they didn't machine it smooth enough. So they were slicing,
Ah.
which was how they were breaking, every single one, even in Tucson. But in order to figure that out with bird, it took me breaking a spoke in basically every state on the Tour Divide.
Oh, God.
So I went through all 6 that I carried, and then and that was pretty demoralizing every time one broke to have to just change it. But they were a little bit easier to change because you can just hook it in there.
Yeah.
And it was the loop breaking, so the nipple would still stay in the rim.
Okay.
So really, I could just unthread it from the nipple, throw it in the hook, and thread it back in. But it still was just...
Yeah, dude.
It was...
That adds up in your brain.
And it was just like not 2 years, a year of me telling the person that gave me the bike, these wheels aren't working.
Mm.
So it was just pretty mentally taxing because I kind of knew going into the race. I was like, not confident in these wheels. Like, I know these aren't going to work, but it was like, maybe I should have just bought my own wheel set for it, but it's just so much money on this sport. It's like, can I just get a break? Like,
Yeah.
I can't buy any more stuff. So it's like, I'm just going to run these wheels. And I paid for it. And I had to buy a new wheel anyway in Del Norte where the wheel completely blew up. It broke 2 spokes at the same time and I was out. So I stayed in Del Norte that night. And luckily enough, the bike shop guy was there the next day at that little shop in Del Norte. He was so nice. Let me ditch the old bird wheel there. Worked on my bike like almost right away. And it was an enduro wheel was all he had. So I rode an enduro wheel from Del Norte through New Mexico.
On the Tour Divide. So hardcore.
But it worked. I didn't care.
Blow up, dude.
Yeah, I didn't care. I just wanted to finish the friggin' race.
You went from like the most ridiculous ultralight spokes to some
heavy,
beefy spokes.
Whatever. I needed to just get it done. But Bird then wanted to get the wheel in house, and then they told me that. But I haven't been able to try. They did send me another wheel to replace it. I wasn't able to try it though. The guy wanted the bike back, so he got the wheel, and I just haven't been able to try the new one.
Yeah.
But I do have a J-Bend wheel set from them, one of the first ones they came out with, and I've put that through the ringer on 2 CTRs, a bunch of Marji Gesicks in Michigan. And I haven't ever broken one. I raced the 300 on that set too, the AZT 300. And they're great. But they lose tension. They stretch. And so right now the nipples are like maxed out on the spoke because they've stretched so much. So I've replaced all the spokes once already. So they don't last very long.
Yeah.
They're light, but you pay for it.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta pee.
Yeah, I do too.
Break time. We'll be right back, folks. My thing about the side-by-sides is I'm almost sure most of the people that own those, because it's not just a side-by-side. They have to buy the trailer and they have to buy the big truck to pull it. And I'm pretty sure all that stuff is financed. Because you're talking hundreds, over $100,000 probably, for like a $50,000 truck, a $30,000 side-by-side, and a trailer. There's no way people can afford that kind of shit now.
Yeah.
And so it's just like it's the grossness of like corporatism, like selling people shit that they think they need, and they figure out how to make it work with the banks, right? They're like, yep, we'll finance that to you, no problem, right? The one part on the course today, they're all lined up along the side, and I'm just like, they probably don't own any of those. The people don't own those things, so.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I spent $3,000 on my Suzuki, and it's basically a side-by-side, street legal side-by-side.
You think it could have made it through that section today where the Subaru was?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, no problem.
Sweet, dude. I used to have Jeeps growing up. We did a lot of Jeeping, and I had a 1980 CJ5 when I was 16 years old.
Nice.
And we dropped the long story is it had this motor called the Iron Duke in it. It was a 4-cylinder. And I wanted to put a K&N air filter on it because I was like a 16-year-old kid, Mm-hmm. And K&N air filters were like what you did when you were a 16-year-old kid and didn't have any money. You could at least afford that. And I put one on, and I lost one of the nuts that like held the filter part on down to the housing. And I didn't know where it went. I wasn't too worried about it. So we went along our day, and it turns out the nut had sucked down into the air filter and gone through the valve and gone into the cylinder. And it displaced the cylinder enough to crack the space between like where the radiator, where the water, basically one of the channels in the water, because we started seeing this like mocha looking oil in the oil filter or in the oil pan. And it was mixing the oil with the water because it had this like micro fracture down between the cylinder and the coolant line. Yeah. So that like toasted that motor. And we ended up buying a small block Chevy 350, which bolted right up to the transmission without an adapter kit.
My buddy has a CJ5 with one of those.
Dude.
Yeah.
With the 350 in there?
Yeah.
It's a fucking death trap,
yeah.
dude. Like it has a small wheelbase in the back, and that thing is just a monster.
Yeah. Snap drive shafts.
Oh yeah. And we put those, we had to cut out the wheel wells to put bigger headers on to come out the side. And then we put those like glass pack, like Corvette style mufflers that came along the side and exited, like big old 3-inch exhaust pipes that exited right before the front wheels. The thing was just unbelievably loud and obnoxious and ridiculous. And I live near a golf course, or near a bunch of golf courses in a retirement community. So I had to drive like through 5 or 6 golf courses to get to high school. So I would just 7 o'clock in the morning, just like driving, just pissing off every golfer along the way. It was ridiculous. So I'm just glad I'm alive now to tell the story.
Sounds exactly like my buddy's CJ.
Yeah. But that wasn't much of a rock crawler. It was more of just like go as fast as you can and hold on.
Yeah. Up
these, power line road type things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yours is pretty like, is it all like?
I've re-geared it.
Okay.
It's got front locker. Well, we just welded the diff together, the poor man's route.
Yeah. Before you blew it up on the I-19, left it on the side of I-10.
Yeah. Sleep deprived after the 800, front hub locked in. No differential basically in there because it's all welded. So front diff try and turn at the same speed as the rear diff. Well, the U-joint on the rear diff blew, like Oro Valley exit. I'm almost home after the race. And I thought a bomb went off. I thought I was going to die in that thing.
Yeah.
And I got off and front wheel drive and went on the frontage road and hopped the fence and walking along I-10 like 2 a.m. Like, where's my drive shaft? Found it. It was flattened to a pancake. And I was like, well, found it, but it's going to be useless. So threw it in the truck, drove home in front wheel drive.
No way. This is like the night that you finished the 800?
Yeah.
Dude.
Just when I dropped that truck off in Flagstaff, I didn't realize I left one of the front hubs locked in. And of course, finished the 800. Oh, I'm going home, totally not thinking about anything. And I thought something felt pretty rough when I got on 19 or 17 South or whatever from Flagstaff. I'm like, I don't know. It's a lifted truck. It's probably fine. Just finished that race.
Just road noise.
And then, I got home and I was like, I went to turn the hubs to engage front wheel drive after that when that happened. And I was like, oh, this one was already locked in. Yeah, it has never been an issue. I'm always pretty diligent about it, but bit me.
I think your words were at the finish of the 800 because I was there to see a finish, and I think it was like, oh, well, I just slept like 12 hours, so I think I'll drive home tonight.
Yeah, I felt good at the finish, but who doesn't, right? Like all this food is presented to me, people were there.
Yeah.
And then, I go over to a friend's house to get the truck, and it got dark, and then I felt it.
Yeah. Did it take a couple days? Usually I feel like wired for probably 6 hours, maybe I would say. Did it take a couple days for it to really set in, or does it after these big events?
I felt okay the next couple days. But it lasts 2 or 3 weeks where I feel like I need a nap by 2:00 in the afternoon. Like trying to get through the workday is a major struggle. Like a lot of times I have to just take it and then just work when I can, or just take extra vacation time because I just can't do it.
Yeah.
But part of that might also just be I really don't want to be working. I want to be back out on the trail. It's like back into real life on top of like being tired. And that you're not depressed, but not in the best mindset. It's like, oh, I'm back to real life, back to work. It's like you come off this high of like winning the race. People are there, all this stuff, right? And then it's like just all done. And then it's like, I really got to respond to these emails, these 40 emails I got when I was out. It's all kind of, like I said, I don't want to say depressing, but not the best situation to be motivated.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help you stay awake.
I find this thing that I have a tendency to do when I do something hard, like a multi-day bikepacking race, where I get back so I've been constantly solving problems, right? Like during this event, like the whole thing is basically a big problem solving effort, right? I get back to work and I'm like not interested in helping other people solve problems.
Oh yeah.
On their own. I'm like,
sure.
You need to figure this out. Because I'm not going to be the easy button for you right now. And it's not necessarily my employees, but it's like we work with other people across the university and a lot of people. And a lot of times I'm just like discouraged that no one can figure out how to do, like there's a lot of people that don't have that ability to like figure something out on their own. They rely on somebody else, Yep. And I think with the sport, you got to have the ability to solve problems or you're not going to make it.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
You just named like 7 problems in the last 30 minutes of our conversation that you had to solve, right? That you were actively managing, including your drive shaft on the side of the highway. After you dealt with all that other shit, the spokes and the breathing issues in CTR and the mud and
yeah, you're going to have a problem or problems in any of these. You're just going to.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. Have you always been that type of person, like a problem solver?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
I guess probably hence why I do the engineering now.
Yeah.
But yeah, cause that goes back to like my answer, like been training my whole life for this.
Right. Right. That's how I feel with excessive eating.
Yeah,
Addictive eating.
Yeah. Well, eating, it actually is like I did a lot of rides where I would stop in the middle of it and just eat a ton of like greasy, fatty stuff and then just go hammer.
Yeah.
And I feel like it helped, like be able to put that all down and get the calories.
You got to practice that skill.
Yeah.
For sure, dude.
Yeah.
It was, I just saw, have you seen the King of Chaos, the Justinas Levica documentary?
I think I watched part of it.
He's carrying, there's a part in there. It's a great document. It's fantastic. It's super well done. It really gives you like an insight into his life and lifestyle. But there's a part where he's hiking the canyon and he's holding the McDonald's bag.
Yeah, I saw that.
And people are like, what the fuck, dude?
The thing is that, and I never got to talk to him about this, but he's holding the McDonald's bag, yes. But what is more alarming to me in that picture is that he has his chamois on, his bibs,
Okay.
and his helmet. And it's like the first thing I'm doing when I start packing up my bike on my pack to hike the canyon, I'm getting that chamois off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that I don't want that near me, during the hike. Like, I want that free down there. Like, that's the one time in 8 days that 8 or 9 days for me that I get to have my chamois off.
Yeah. He's just full sends. He's good.
Like, it wasn't even the McDonald's that was the alarming thing for me in that picture. I would do that.
That's funny.
But the helmet. The helmet was on.
Yeah.
Like, hanging the helmet on the bike, like...
He's just going for it, dude. No time to spare. So I've been debating the chamois, no chamois for a few years now, and actually have been riding no chamois since CTR was last year's CTR was the first race I decided to do with no chamois, and I did it strategically because there's so much hiking in that. I was like, if there's going to be one, that's going to be the one to try it on, right? Have you ever tried?
Have.
Yeah. And what do you think?
I actually took a mix for Tour Divide. I took some shorts, like compression shorts.
Yeah.
And I would do some days, I would sleep in those for one. And I think I took them on CTR one year too. And I would, when I was sleeping in those, in the morning when I start riding, I'm always cold, right? So I never want to take anything off. So I just kind of start riding in whatever I'm wearing. So I would usually keep those on for part of the day, the no chamois. And I think it helps, especially for the hike-a-bike, to not have the chamois on there. It feels really nice.
Yeah.
That being said, I think when you start staying in the saddle or pedaling over the rougher stuff, I think at least for me, the chamois really helps. In multiple days in a row of that, like pedaling through all the chunk on the AZT, I can't imagine going no chamois for some of it.
Yeah.
But I think I also maybe took those shorts in the AZT one year. I did not this year. I just chamoised it the whole time. Didn't hike the canyon in it, but shipped the underwear and shorts with my pack to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I've done the mix. I've never just gone no chamois.
Yeah.
I've always mixed it.
Yeah. I think mixing anything is a good move, right? Because you have different contact points with different pairs of shorts.
Yeah.
So that's going to be helpful. But I don't know, dude. The chamois originally was because everybody wore like wool shorts in cycling, like in the early 1900s. So like that, thick scratchy wool, and they would put a piece of deer leather, like hard deer leather, down in that spot just so that you didn't have the thick wool rubbing against your genitals. That was like the original idea. Yeah, the original, development of the chamois was that. And then it just started to like evolve into what it is today.
Well, the quality of the chamois and the material, I've learned, plays a huge role. Like, there's no way I would do any of those races in anything less than an Assos or a Rafa highest end they make.
And you start with new or...
Yeah, start new.
Yeah.
Or at least relatively new.
Yeah.
But, man, that's another thing. It's money, money, money.
Yeah, I know. What about shoes? Well, what shoes did you wear on the AZT?
This year I did Pearl Izumi X Alps in every race. Yeah. And that's just because it's the most comfortable I've found for me, combined with an okay stiffness, that I'll deal with the fact that they don't hold up.
The tread on the bottom.
Yeah. Like, I wish I could show the bottom of my AZT 800 shoes.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing left.
Can you send me a picture later? I'll put it in.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I think I just threw them away the other day finally, but I think I have the picture saved. I obviously have it because I warrantied them.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I find it in my email.
Yeah, those Pearl Izumis are notorious for the carbon plate and the toe like separating. Is that the spot that...
So the plate has only really come out of one pair of my shoes.
Okay.
Officially, like, completely come out where I cannot ride it. The plate has like separated in a lot of them, but it's still rideable.
Yeah.
Granted, not that great.
Right.
The plate actually was kind of okay on these shoes in the 800. It's just it just went bare.
Yeah.
Which I did have to hike 13 miles extra from the rain collector of the top of when you climb out of the Gila to the picket post. The 300 finish because I tore my sidewall in the Gila.
Right.
So I did have that extra hiking.
13 miles? That's
what one of my friends told me.
Yeah, from the rain collector. Yep.
So I tore it in the Gila. I booted it. The tear was actually from the bead all the way into the tread of the tire.
Ooh.
And I don't even know how it happened. It just happened. I didn't hit anything. Like, all of a sudden, it was just flat. I was like, what the heck? And then I saw the tear. I'm like, wow. And it was, bigger than the boot that I had. A little sliver of it. So I spent like an hour cleaning the tire, the prickers and everything, and got them.
What kind of tire?
Maxxis Icon, which I believe in, which I've raced in every 800, every CTR. Knock on wood, this is the first issue I've ever had.
Rear?
Front.
Running an Icon on the front?
Front and rear.
Dang.
I've done that every bikepacking race.
Huh.
Except for Tour Divide. But...
You don't find Icons are too, like, squirrely? Like, the side knobs aren't? Like,
a little bit, but
it's stuff?
I've had worse luck with the Recons.
Really?
The Recons seem to always get a puncture in the tread.
Yeah.
Way more issues than the Icon. So I would probably go with a Recon if I believed in them.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't really have an issue with the Icon. I do notice the Recon feels a little more stable.
Yeah, the Recon's kind of replaced, not fully, but they kind of took the place of the Icon. It seemed, at least in popularity on the trail, because I would run Icons when I first got into bikepacking too. And they just seemed for me, they were a little bit loose on the corners.
Yeah, they are a little bit. I mean, I'm pretty used to it now.
Yeah.
And I like them. I don't, maybe it's just a fluke. That torn sidewall, I still like them. I don't know what I hit, what it was. I must have hit something previously because I was on like a smooth stretch in the Gila and it just was bam, gone. I'm like, somebody like booby trapped the trail? Like,
potentially.
What happened here?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And, I put a tube in, didn't make it. The ups and downs of the Gila worked that tube into the crack, and then put the second one in. I was able to climb up Martinez Canyon to the rain collector. As soon as I went down, that was done. Worked into that crack, and then hiked from there to Picket Post.
Did you say you tried to sew it? Did you have anything?
I brought a sewing kit in 2023.
Yeah.
I got confident in 2024 and didn't take it. Was confident this year and didn't take it. And kicking myself.
You think that would have solved the problem if you could have sewn it?
I've never had to sew anything.
Me neither, dude.
I don't know.
Do you have a curved needle?
Yes.
Okay.
I have it.
Yeah.
I have the stuff.
Right.
Just,
You didn't have it then when you needed it. Yeah. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
But you hiked, so you put that extra tread on those X-Alp summits.
Yeah.
And then warrantied them.
Yeah. No, we're not saying this.
No, allegedly warrantied them. I did the same thing. They didn't perform well after my one trip that I took, so, But I had some Adidas Adidas 510 Trail Cross.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, I had the same thing happen with the front kind of, I don't know, just on my left side. It must be the way I hike or something. I just wear through the left side a little more. It's separated, but on that one, it created a space for rocks and stuff to get in from the bottom. So I was getting like rocks every time I had to hike a bike. I would just commit to getting rocks inside from the bottom. This was on the 300 in 2023. Drove me so insane, dude, because I basically have to stop and like shake my shoes out after every hike a bike. And it's just on and off in that race. It's just on and off and on and off.
Yeah.
Granted, they were not new, so probably if they were newish, it would have been fine. I got cheap, and I was like, I'm not buying another pair of shoes. They'll be fine, and they weren't.
Yeah. Well, running pearls, you basically have to get a set to train in, and then you have to have another set that's fresh for the race.
Yeah.
But for me, it seems like it's been worth it. I can't find anything as comfortable that hikes as well that is that stiff. And maybe it's those Shimanos that you have in the higher level. I don't know.
Yeah, we were talking about that, the EX 500s and the EX 900s or 700s.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one. They seem nice. There's also the GE 9s, the Shimano GE 9s, which Kurt Refsnyder swears by. And they are burly. They are a burly shoe. I mean, they are not going to fall apart on you. That's for sure. They're an enduro shoe. They're like their highest in, XTR level enduro shoe. They have like a built-in gator on the back, like a rock gator. Their BOA knob has a like protected plate on the bottom of it, so you can't, smash and break the BOA knob.
Wow, that's a good feature.
Yeah.
I've done that.
And they have the all tread, I think is what Shimano calls it. That's their tread on the bottom, which is fantastic. I mean, it holds up like way better, way better than the pearls, but arguable on comfort for sure. I think I used them on Gunny Loopy Loop, and there's tons of hiking on that. And I don't know, I couldn't like parse out whether or not it was just my wet feet that were causing the problems. We talked a little bit about this earlier, or if it was the shoe. But I think it was my wet feet. The shoes held up just fine. So, but they're big and bulky and a lot, You're like in your, your tight shorts, and you got these giant boats, clown shoes. But they will hold up to what AZT can dish out. I'm sure they would. So,
well, a lot of AZT is just picking out stuff that'll hold up and moving. So
yeah. You mentioned that Marji Gesick, is that what it's called? Race?
Yeah.
That's another one you did this year. Is that right?
Yeah, I've actually done that every year since 2015 when it started. And I was kind of the initial crew that kind of got it set up in 2015. And now it's the biggest single day, the biggest 100-mile event in the country is what they claim. and they claim the hardest single day race in North America.
Yeah. So what makes it so hard?
Maybe it's a little bit overhyped when you compare this to stuff like AZT.
Yeah.
But it is for sure the hardest race in the National Ultra Endurance Series. It's a combination of things. It is definitely pretty consistent technical that just comes at you, and it keeps coming at you, and the race gets progressively harder as you get closer to the finish.
Yeah.
It's like the last 15 miles are just straight up these rock walls, turn 180 degrees around, go straight up another rock wall or dirt wall, like straight up this steep stuff. I mean, there's 13,000 feet of climbing and 108 miles, which is about typical ratio for a 100-mile race.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much, I don't want to say it's all on the dirt, because there is a little bit of bike path into the west end of Marquette County, but it's a lot of dirt trail riding, and a lot of these national ultra races are a lot of gravel and road, and they really do a good job of eliminating the easier stuff.
Yeah.
It's just constantly coming at you, and you always got to be on your game. And in order to get the belt buckle, less than 12 hours is what you have to do.
Mm.
And this year, it was actually most people that ever got it. I don't know how many got it. It was more than 10. But there's been a lot of years it's been between 5 and 8 people that get it of the 600 or 700 or whatever that start.
Is there a running race as well on it?
Yeah, there's a running race. There's 50-mile run, which is actually 63. Same for the bike. The 100-mile run. There's a 200-mile race that I actually did in 2024.
Yeah.
And that's the out and back. So you ride the course from Ishpeming, which is the finish, the west end of Marquette County, to the start, basically in Marquette. Then you flip it back and you ride the actual race route, another 108 miles back. And that's pretty unique. It's like there's not many other races that are 220 miles or whatever of pretty much all single track, hard, really awesome riding.
Yeah.
That are overnight like that. It's like blurs the lines between the ultra bikepacking and the ultra like single day stuff.
Right.
And it's a trail race.
Right. Cool.
But it only happens every 5 years, the 200.
Oh, really? Is it, or do they have like aid stations and stuff? Is it that sort of deal? Is it like an organized race?
It's very organized. It's
Yeah.
National Ultra Endurance, so it has to be organized.
Yeah, okay.
The deal is that the race director and the official race says there's no race run aid stations.
Oh.
Which is sort of true. They do run one where you can have a bag drop and there's people there with food, all kinds of food. And you pass by that twice. The rest is community. There's the community there. There's so many people on the trails cheering on the race, just in random spots, like out in nowhere, that are just like cheering. And it's like the most community supported mountain bike race I've ever seen, where the community's out there with random aid stations all over the place. Like every 10 miles, there's people with food, water. It seems like in the west end stuff, in Nagani, Ishpeming, little bit more sparse on the other side. But yeah, there's a ton of aid out there. I'd say more than any other NUE race.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'd probably try to keep my streak going. I don't know. I'm trying to decide between that and Vapor Trail next year.
Yeah. That's on the bucket list for me too. Do you do any running races or run at all?
It's interesting you bring that up.
Oh.
I did. The girl that I'm with now is a trail runner, marathon runner. And kind of after the AZT, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to do something else. I'll do some of these runs. And my initial thought was like, gee, I should have been doing this before AZT. This probably would have helped my lemon push.
Yeah.
And I like it. I don't know if I like it because I was just coming off this Triple Crown. I'm like, I'm done with bikes. Like,
Yeah. Sell it all.
yeah.
Buy some running shoes and be done.
Yeah. No, I'm super stoked for 2026. I like I said, I want to do all those shorter bike pack races. But that being said, I'm debating doing I just ran almost 20 miles the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm debating doing this run on the AZT that's 30 miles at the end of January. I just don't know if that'd put me in a good... I'm racing 24 hours in the old Pueblo solo, and that's like 2 weeks afterwards. So if I like mess myself up from something, then makes me nervous if I'll still have that potential overuse injury or something going into old Pueblo.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, running, I've like mixed it up over the last few years, running and biking, and I love it. I mean, just the access for running on some stuff, you can get into places that you can't get into on a bike, you know, like a lot of the canyon you can run.
Yeah.
In fact, my wife and I, we did on Thanksgiving, we did down Bright Angel, across Tonto, and up South Kaibab, and then back across the top Rim Trail.
That sounds amazing.
Which was like 20 miles. And It took us 5.5 hours, 5 hours. But the canyon is an incredible place, as you know, like, and to be able to just go there and do, you know, a 5-hour loop by foot and not suffer with my bike on my back. I mean, I haven't done that yet, but like, I can just appreciate.
Yeah.
You can really move fast, and I do think that running complements ultra bike packing.
Oh, for sure. Like the hike-a-bikes, if I incorporated a running regimen into my training for AZT, I'm sure that my lemon push would have been even faster.
Yeah.
And then the Grand Canyon hike, and it's like, I kind of really want that lemon push to be faster too, because it's like, I beat all of the 300 riders to the turn for the lemon push.
Dude, you were flying.
Well, that's one of my favorite sections of the trail. And then, you know, because of the lemon push, you're kind of set back behind the rest of the 300s.
Right, everybody went up the road.
But man, if I could have just sped up a little bit more on that lemon push, maybe the running would be enough to do it.
Yeah. How do you train for the canyon?
I really don't.
Oh, come on. I was Instagram stalking you.
I did one hike this year.
Yeah.
Before it.
With the bike on your
And
back.
it was mostly just to remember where the straps go.
Okay.
And how to strap it down. And I still managed to mount it up differently. Yeah. Every single time. I basically know how secure it has to be. And that, you know, the handlebars need to be far away from my feet that go up and all those technicalities.
Right.
But somehow I managed to mount it up different every single time.
Yeah.
But it works.
What kind of backpack?
The Osprey Stratos 24.
Classic.
Yeah.
That's a classic for that.
Yeah.
And you do the one wheel, front wheel off, keep the back wheel on, or do you take both wheels off? My buddy actually messaged me about this because he was looking through the pictures this year, and I've traditionally left the rear wheel on and just hooked the front wheel to it. Right. And my buddy was like Zach Frownlick, who got the single speed Triple Crown record this year, I believe. He messaged me and was like, "You leave your rear wheel on? That makes it up so high." Mm-hmm. And he's like, "I can't do that." I'm like, "I haven't even really thought about taking it off." But I don't know. I will do the 800 again. I'll probably do it 2 more times. I don't know. I'm going to do it again at some point. Yeah. Maybe I'll try taking it off and do a little more training. My canyon hikes are definitely not fast compared to other people. Right. But it's just not something I really care about. It's not like cycling oriented. It's just something for me to get through. Right.
I mean, I wouldn't have an AZT any other way, but I just, whatever. I don't care about my hiking speed in a bikepacking race.
It's not going to have as big of an overall impact as the rest of the ride, and focusing on that training and making sure that's dialed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that being said, this year the feet were okay. Last year, Esther was taking pictures at the North Rim, and I just had to complain to her about how much my feet hurt.
Yeah.
It felt like I was walking on pins and needles last year. And I think it's because I was chasing Justinus. I was abusing myself more. Because that's the only person that's ever beat me in an 800. I've always been at the front, so it was a new thing for me to be, you're chasing, you're kind of not taking care of yourself as much. You're trying to go a little faster. I didn't clean my feet or even really wipe them off before I got into the canyon last year chasing Lavica. And I paid for it. And I realized that when I got to the North Rim. And this year I scrubbed them and it was fine.
Yeah.
So it's just little mistakes like that. Like when you're chasing, add up.
Yeah.
And I thought it was man, I need to do more hikes. But honestly, it was just the little sand particles in my feet rubbed into the skin and created these sores that almost opened up. It was super painful.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done a 100-mile running race before, and I wasn't running. It was like a power hike by the end of it,
Yeah.
And it's just the feet, dude. You just have to you just have to put time on your feet just to acclimate them for that kind of thing, And if you don't do it, do you think Justinus, he couldn't even take his chamois off? You think he cleaned his feet? He couldn't even get his helmet off.
I don't understand. How can you, even if it was, maybe if it was the cost, if it came down to the cost, if it was me winning or not, leaving my chamois on, maybe I would do it.
Yeah.
I don't even know though. I can't imagine hiking a full 22 miles with the bike on the back with my chamois on.
It's just part of him. It's part of him now.
Don't sleep. Wear the chamois through the canyon. Oh my God.
Yeah, that guy goes deep, man, on not sleeping. The sleep thing, it's love-hate for me. I know it's bad for me. I know not sleeping and pushing through is bad. And I said I was never going to do it. And then I just found myself this year getting more drawn, I can just do an hour.
You get sucked in.
Yeah, you get sucked in. And because I think in order to be top 10 on any of these things, that's the standard. You have to cut sleep.
Yep. Which
kind of sucks, but it also kind of makes it dangerous and risky, and fun. It's kind of the secret sauce in bikepack racing.
Yeah, you got to know your limit, which is part of the fun. I go back and forth with it. I love it and hate it. I probably mostly hate it at the time when I'm out there.
Yeah.
I've traditionally always opted to try to move faster and feel better with more sleep.
Yeah.
Which I definitely did this year in the 800.
Yeah.
I slept more. I think I slept more this year than I've ever slept in any bikepacking race in the 800. But yeah, I mean, it's that fine line, right? Of your moving speed to stop time. How slow can you get, or how fast can you get the moving speed with that amount of stop time?
Right. Yeah.
What's your limit?
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like you're doing permanent damage? Long-term damage?
I've never really felt like I have been with the sleep thing specifically. Maybe because I don't push it quite as hard as some people do.
Yeah. Like how long have you stayed up in one go without getting any sleep?
That's a good question.
Like I think the gold standard is, 40 something hours. 40 hours is where most people, there's like a threshold there where you can finish a lot of bikepacking races in 40 hours.
Yeah, I think maybe my AZT 300 in 2022 was no sleep. It was like a 15-minute laydown. That might have been the longest push, what was that? Like a 2-day something? So what are you at? You're at 48 hours?
Yeah, 48, 50. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the longest, I think.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to try to do. I'm going to do another 300 next year, try to improve upon that. So I guess it's going to be no sleep again.
I mean, that has to have a consequence. It's just the question is how many years at the end of your life is that taken off, and or what are all the other things you're doing in your life that may be increasing or decreasing your longevity,
Right. So I've heard from multiple people that as you get older, you need less sleep. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that actually a thing?
Well, I think
guess
old
we'll
people
find out.
sleep less, right? In general, like they're always up at like 3 o'clock in the morning for no
Yeah,
fucking
but don't they
reason.
go to bed at like 7?
Yeah. But then I don't think so. I think they probably, I don't know. This is we're like generalizing all old people here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I mean, I go to bed at like 8. I went to bed at 7 last night.
Yeah,
But I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man, with the sleep thing. Do you think, here's another question for you. Being in the top, like kind of in the top front end of a lot of these things, you think people are using, and no one's specific, but do you think there's a prevalence of like any kind of performance enhancing drugs being used? Like Adderall or amphetamines, like not just caffeine, like things to assist in staying awake for longer?
I mean, I know there's people that use acid out there. I've never used it. Does that help you stay awake?
Absolutely. It helps
Okay.
you transport through time. Okay.
I'd be interested to try it, but I also kind of just want to do it without that.
Yeah, I think you should probably, if you're going to allegedly do it, you should do it not during bikepacking trips. I think
First experience on just do it on the 800 on the lemon push.
There's a very like unique subset of the acid bikepacker cowboys that I think that was a thing for a while. There was a group of guys that was their thing. And one of them on Pinions, I passed him. He passed me, and he was like so strung out, dude. And he was like, I just teleported through time. And then I heard him do this like primal guttural roar. And then he just kept biking. And I was like, dude, this was like my second bikepacking trip probably ever. And I was like, what is happening here? It was Ben Hannes was his name. You know
Oh
Ben
my
Hannes?
gosh. Yes.
Okay.
I had that experience in the CTR with him.
Yeah.
In like 2019. I think it was 2019.
Yeah.
Or maybe 21.
Yeah. Because this was on Pinions and Pines, I think 19 or 20. And yeah, dude. And then I don't know. I don't think anybody's ever seen him since, because like the guy like dropped off the map.
Yeah. Well, he used to live in Buena Vista, Colorado, and he would do this race, the Colorado and part of the Colorado Endurance Series, kind of like what we did today at the Arizona Endurance Series. Colorado has the same thing.
Right.
And there was the Salida Big Friggin' Loop.
Okay.
And I probably did it 3 or 4 years in a row. And one year he decided to leave his house in Buena Vista and ride to Salida and take the Colorado Trail to get to the start. At like 1 a.m. he left and rode to CT.
Yeah.
And he comes to the start like just hot, just crazy. And we start and he's like going into the other lane and like all this stuff. And then all of a sudden he yells and just like turns around and then he's just gone.
Yeah.
And we're like, what? What happened to Ben?
You went through a wormhole, dude. Yeah. No, I definitely think you could argue that LSD is a performance enhancing drug. For sure. Anything that keeps you awake. For sure.
Yeah. I use caffeine like crazy.
Yeah, that doesn't count. I mean, caffeine's like, I'm talking about stuff that really, caffeine it's not like a banned substance in a lot of things, like in running and ultra running and stuff.
No,
it's
I
not
know.
on the.
I just threw that out there.
So here's an interesting one. A guy I interviewed, Tyler Arnett, a couple podcasts ago. He set the FKT on the ride across Arizona.
Yep.
And when I asked him about it, and this is on the podcast, he has had a kind of a long-term dependency on Benadryl to sleep. Like he has to take Benadryl every night in order just to go to sleep. And he's been doing this for like 10 years. And he decided on ride across Arizona to just stop taking the Benadryl. And one of the main side effects of that is insomnia. Keeps you awake, right? And it worked. He said he didn't feel sleepy at all for, I don't remember how long it was, 60 hours or something. It was a long time. Like people die when they stay up that long.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And I'm thinking, man, he was a really nice guy. Not that he was doing anything like he wasn't supposed to be doing. I just thought, wow, this is an interesting kind of case where the act of not taking something is giving you an advantage, right? And I'm thinking of all the other sports. First, you have to develop a dependency to Benadryl if you want to do this. But I was thinking about all the other sports because they can't. What are you going to do? Test for it? There's nothing to test for. You're not taking anything,
Right.
Just kind of interesting. It made me think, what's the incentive that a lot of people have, especially in bikepacking ultra stuff where there's not a lot of money.
Right. It's like, yeah, maybe some bike sponsorship stuff, but people go nuts.
People go nuts for competition, right? So I think I think your competitive drive is going to outweigh money a lot of times. A lot of people's competitive drives, especially at the tip of the spear.
Right.
Like I've heard of things happening that on CTR from people I won't name that are, not cool. Things they're doing that are not, they shouldn't really be doing that stuff. It's right on the edge of acceptability of the bikepacking culture.
Right.
Asking people for water and stuff like that.
Right.
You're not supposed to do any of that stuff, but.
Right. You have heard about somebody witnessing that happening?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Especially water on the CTR. How do you mess that up?
Yeah. And, there was the thing with Justinus, the wheel thing that, where he got a ride and there was a FAQ, the discrepancy on where it was in the rules. And, Tour Divide's that way. You can take hitchhike, right? Basically to get, for folks listening, the rule sets in bikepacking are different based on whoever's organizing that particular race.
Yeah, but for the trail races, it's the AZT and CT are the same.
They are the same.
For some reason, I always knew that ever since the start.
Yeah.
But I've been more, I live surrounded by it. I don't come over from Europe, so I can see how him not knowing makes sense.
Yeah. He just assumed. And they addressed that in that King of Chaos movie.
Yeah.
They addressed that whole thing. And
I guess the kicker for me in that was, so I saw him when that was happening in 24. And I was like, what are you doing? And I didn't really care. I just kept going. It was at Tennessee Pass. But Neil, multiple people witnessed it. Hefe knew. Why was he still on the map as racing? Because they took him out of the results. In the Triple Crown result, the official results on bikepacking.net that nobody really looks at. He has an asterisk. He's not in the results. He's not officially in the CTR results, I don't think. Or maybe it's just an asterisk. But we were all so confused out there. We're what happened? Is this guy still legit? Like, what's going on? Like, he was still on the map. So then he finished, or he finished the wheel issue, right? But he did his resupply at the same time. And I don't want to bash on the guy, but it's like, for me as a racer out there, it was like, he did his resupply by hitchhiking, then takes the Leadville detour after he did the resupply. So it's like, he not only like hitchhiked to get the wheel, he hitchhiked, got groceries, and then didn't even go to Leadville, took the detour, which is quite a bit faster and easier.
Yeah.
And then, kept racing. So it's like he didn't have any respect for, like, I guess maybe just didn't know that you couldn't hitchhike to get groceries. I guess you could hitchhike to get groceries in Tour Divide. I guess.
Yeah. Maybe.
So I guess it's,
I don't know.
what does it matter then, I guess, if you don't know?
Yeah.
So like I understand that he didn't know coming from Europe, but it was also just like, really?
I was in it. I had that year too, and I had a guy through the grapevine, this guy Dylan DeSaro, said, "Hey, did you hear what happened yesterday?" And the first thing I thought was, oh, dude, I read every single thing. This was my first year doing it. I didn't want to screw anything up. I read every single rule, and I went to the FAQs, and I read it all. And I read the part where it specifically said, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And my first reaction was, he can't do that.
Yeah, right. Me too.
I was like, okay, he can't do that.
So...
like, we're all under the assumption that we're following this common rule set, which is what makes a race,
Yeah, we can't bash on these rules. We're not going to have a race if we bash on these rules.
Right. Yeah, those aren't debatable, right? The rules should never be debatable. Although they got somewhat debatable in the last, from 2021 to 2023 or 4. There were people that were making up their own rules to their own races.
It's like not even cool. It's not even like you're doing it for who else are you doing this for? Like you're not winning money. Like you're doing it for yourself.
Some people are. Some people are winning money and some people are winning sponsorships. I mean, you get paid if you win,
You're not going to get the most out of it, even for yourself, if you're not just following those rules.
Yeah.
So it's like, just to everybody else that does care about the race and the sport, it's like a big slap in the face for somebody to like go on a podcast yet and make fun of the rules. It's like, that was like mind-blowing to me.
Is that what he did? Yes.
Yeah.
Justinus?
I don't know if we need to get into it.
Yeah,
but,
I don't. I didn't hear this. I'm not. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
But yeah, just it's like people need to be in support of these rules, not like make people think it's okay or that they're laughable.
Well, there was a culture of like people being elevated above the rules in bike pack racing, for sure. And I think it started with Leal. I think that's where it started with the whole accepting aid and Rue thing. I mean, I think that opened the gateway.
Are you thinking of the Tour Divide situation or the
Both.
AZT? Okay.
Both. Dude, that first Ride the Divide documentary was what like inspired me to get into bikepacking, So I got to give Leal credit for that,
Yeah.
But twice it happened. Happened on the AZT after that, like years later.
Yeah. Like if you want to do your own thing, then great. Like cool.
Yeah.
But like we can't like acknowledge it as part of the event.
My problem with the whole thing was with that particular situation with Leal was the way that there was some blowback on John Schilling.
Oh yeah.
And the army went after John Schilling, and that was just fucking wrong. And I addressed it when I talked to John, and we kind of put to bed the idea of whether or not accepting aid or seeing people having someone follow you. But the bottom line in that situation is John told Leal at picket post that she could change at this point and still be okay.
Yeah, because like if you see somebody once
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right. This was
Or twice even, but like multiple.
well,
You
it's her,
get more than
her
that.
significant other following her for sure. 100%. It's been proven. There's a Radiolab podcast on it about if you see people, you do better. If it makes you feel better,
Oh yeah.
you have a boost, right?
Yeah.
If you and if you do it throughout the race, you're going to have a boost, right? So I think that situation kind of like started this cascade of acceptability of making up my own rules and still getting away with it because that's what happened.
Okay, yeah, that's what you're getting at. Yeah, that makes sense. And it's unfortunate.
And I think the people at the top of the sport, they can do things and cut corners and do little things.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know about a lot of them they do on their own in secret, like by themselves out there on the trail, But every once in a while you hear somebody doing something and you're like, yeah, I can't fucking do that. That undermines the whole thing.
Right. Right. Like I was kind of nervous about my Trail Angel situation at Picket Post.
Yeah.
But then like I was talking to Alexandra Houchin, she's like, that's legit. Like Trail Angel's legit. Mark Caminiti was like, yeah, Trail Angel's legit. And then John met me at Queen Valley and he's like, yeah, that's legit.
Yeah.
Like I just gave the Trail Angel my credit card. She went and got the tire and seated it up and that was good to go.
Yeah.
And she just happened to be there dropping off a hiker and comes over and asks if I need anything. And I'm like, actually, you could save my day.
Yeah.
Or my whole race.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yeah. The other, to play devil's advocate here a little bit, the other part of this is all this shit is unsanctioned. It's all organized by individuals that are like, there's no centralized rule set, right? It's just people putting on these events, right? Like Hefe and the whole decision with the CTR, he's going to have a different response than John Schilling would have, right? Because it's just these people, and we're not following. These things kind of evolved out of nothing. People just wanting to go ride their bikes,
right? And now, the CTR is just so that's got to be the most competitive trail race, that I can think of.
Yeah, and so my response to, people that complain about having to follow the rules is go start your own race. If you think you can do it better, go do it. You have the choice.
Yeah.
Because being a race director for Pinions and Pines, I understand that, it's just people that don't get paid that are just trying to do this to create an experience for people. And then shit gets all wound up in the media or in different places, right? So, I don't know. Do your own. Take some agency and go make your own race and see how easy it is to manage these weird situations that come up.
Yeah, they're gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards advocating for a centralized rule set. That's what came out of that whole CTR thing for me. Was shouldn't there be just one single source of information, and race directors can choose to use that if they want to?
Well, there kind of is a standard rule set in the Europe scene, right?
Yeah, they've maybe,
But the Europeans are way more sophisticated with this whole sport of cycling, I feel like.
Yeah. And
so it makes sense.
There is no rejection of organized races there like there is here.
Right.
There is a fucking American revolutionary rebellious attitude that comes out in these things.
So there actually is a bikepacking race that is organized that you pay an entry fee to in this country. I mean, do you know of any off the top of your head?
Doom.
No, that's not what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. They charged this year.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. And they had official people out there.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It was permitted and everything. Yeah.
Is there any others that come to your?
Nope, that's the only one I know.
So there's the Crusher, the same people that put on the Marji Gesick, run this 500-mile race in Michigan.
Yeah.
And that was a lot. I think a lot of people started 80, 100. Maybe not that much. But you pay, and it was all promoted and put on. And
yeah.
But that's very rare, I feel like.
you're going to have a rule handbook, and you're going to have, you do a couple of these endurance running races and you'll see what is involved. I mean, you've done bike races, right? They all have the same thing. They have like rules handbooks, and I'm assuming I've never done like an organized like circuit bike race, but they have, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, I've never, I don't think I've ever read it.
But they have like a handbook,
I mean,
right?
yeah, like the especially like USA Cycling,
Yeah.
which isn't, I don't know how popular that is anymore for anything but collegiate racing, but
Yeah.
like I definitely never read the collegiate racing manual.
But they have one, and
Yeah.
everybody is responsible for understanding it if there's a problem, right? That's just
Yeah.
But with bike pack racing, it's like,
Yeah.
whatever's on the website.
read the whole thing.
What do you think about changing topics here a little bit? What do you think about John Schilling kind of discontinuing FKTs on the Arizona Trail?
Mixed feelings. Again, I get it, because it is so long and it's forever changing, and what's the standard? I don't know, but it seems like, I mean, for me and other people at the pointy end, I once had the FKT on it. So it would be really, I think it'd be great if we had a clear run of the full course. Just say, hey, FKT is on the table. But it does seem like it's becoming rare that we have the full course. So I guess I get it. But it also, I don't know, maybe it just, for people like me, I still love the event and the race. And maybe it takes some ego off the table, which is maybe good. But would still be cool to race for that FKT. And I mean, I still probably could. I could still do it and know that I did it.
Yeah.
Because what is it right now? It's Austin's 822 or something that's holding.
Killips?
Yeah.
No, not in my opinion.
Oh, Justinus's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Count Justinus's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's like he had like a 718, so with Highline it would be like a 720 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's so different though, like the changes over time. Like Colorado Trail, it's pretty consistent,
Yeah, I mean, that's easy to do the FKT on.
Yeah.
Or not easy to physically do, but easy to say that this was an FKT run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I see both sides.
Yeah.
But it's always cool, like, as somebody that can potentially go for it, that it'd be cool if it was on the table. But that's such a small percentage of people out there that, it's whatever. I still love the race and love the trail. It's not going to stop me from giving my best out there.
Yeah. I think he's just trying to minimize kind of the politics of it, and everybody, it is changing so much. Everybody's going to have their own opinion on.
Right.
If some new mining operation opens up and you have to do this fairly significant reroute, how do you compare the efforts, in an FKT scenario? So
right. I mean,
it opens up everyone else's opinions is the problem. Right.
I mean, I would totally want to compare my time to Justinus's, but it's also like the FKT is so special. Like you have to, that's part of why it's so special. Like if part of the trail is closed, it's simply not the FKT. Like that's why it's so rare to get. So like, I don't know, I'd probably still count Austin's as the official, but I would still want to think about taking all that time off to get to that 7-day range.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like it almost wasn't clear when I set the FKT in 23. The Blue Ridge section had that fire, and then I got there, and there was no sign. Like, hey, well, I'm taking Blue Ridge, and then halfway through it, it was like smoldering, And then we crossed a road and it said the trail's closed. And I'm like, well, I'm already on it. So I just kept going.
Yeah.
And then everybody else did the same thing.
Right. Oh, yeah. 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 All right. You you were saying something earlier about Axis batteries. Have you had problems with Axis batteries?
Not, I guess maybe yes, the battery. I learned recently, like the other day, like 3 days ago. And maybe in another NUE race, I had an issue with the battery. It was flashing, but it was a muddy, wet race. It was raining the whole time.
Yeah.
They don't last very long, for one. That's a general thing. But so I guess the recent situation was I just ordered a new XO transmission derailleur for my stump jumper because my GX derailleur, the pins failed. So they warrantied it and I sold it. Don't want to deal with the pins again, the traditional pin issue. Upgraded to the XO, put the battery on, nothing. It would flash, it blinked green once, it wouldn't shift with the button, it wouldn't connect in the app. I couldn't shift it with the shift. I had already paired it before.
Huh.
And I didn't even ride it yet. I just paired it to tune it. And then I went to go ride it and it wouldn't do anything. I'm like, what the heck? This is a brand new XO derailleur. I've already gone through 2 transmission derailleurs in 1 year. The other one, the motor went out in like 8 months. Granted, I rode a ton this year.
Yeah.
But the motor just completely failed.
Right.
And it's like, it's always been at fine times in training. It hasn't been in a race yet, thank God.
You're running it like on your Triple Crown? You were doing wireless?
No, I ran Eagle 90, the mechanical for
Okay.
CTR and AZT. The bike that was given to me had first generation Axis on it, which I think I've had less issues with first generation Axis than the transmission. The transmission derailleurs just seem to be, I don't know if the quality's not there, but the motor, I had XX and the motor went out in 8 months.
Yeah.
Granted, I ride a ton, right? But still, it's like, I feel like why is the motor going out? But so I don't know if the issue is the battery itself, but anyway, I took it to the bike shop. I said, hey, this isn't working like right out of the box. I haven't even like ridden it. He put a brand new battery on it and all of a sudden it worked.
Yeah.
So apparently it was my battery and they warrantied the battery.
Got it.
So I haven't had an issue until I just realized that battery went bad.
Right.
So they do have a life expectancy, I guess.
Yeah. It's just batteries. Batteries don't mix with ultras.
No.
You know?
No.
What do you use for navigation?
Garmin.
Okay. Like a Edge or?
Yeah, I have a 1040 solar.
Yeah.
That I like. It's nice to just get the little extra juice off of the sun. And then I have an 840 solar that I used like today in the shorter stuff.
Yeah.
A little smaller. That being said, I'm definitely open to trying that new Koros.
Dude, it's badass.
Yeah, I want to try it.
They've worked out all the bugs, all the software bugs.
Might get it next year then.
They actually had a media review embargo that they imposed when they first released it. So no one could do reviews on it. Like, whatever, internet people could do reviews. Because
Really?
it was, their software was such shit, and they launched it too early that they put an embargo on reviews. Anyway, it's way better now. It's incredible. I mean, so the hardware is solid, and that's the thing they had to get right, when they launched it. Because the software can come in updates.
Right.
Upgrades.
Right.
And it's been light years ahead of the Edge 1040 Solar. I had the 1040 Solar before this.
And I'm not exactly happy with it. Like the software in the Edge gets really slow. Like at 200 miles into a ride or something, like you have to like just end that one and start another one. Like even in like the AZT, like I get from the start to the resupply at Reddington Road, like the little bit off route. I don't know, it's 150 miles or something, and I want to keep riding that night, and I don't want to necessarily start a new ride.
Yeah.
But like just scrolling between the pages, it just gets slow.
Right.
And then like I chunk it off between like the start and like Reddington is one AZT 1. That's my first segment.
Okay.
And then like you can't like stop a course and then start a course. You can, but I've had it crash while the ride is still going. And I've also had it just be really slow. Yeah. It'll still work, but it's slow.
Yeah, it seems like it's bogged with software and features. It's all bogged down with all this other bloated shit you don't need. Like, the Dura is like, it doesn't have all that extra stuff, and I think that's why the battery life is so much better on it.
And that's what we want for bikepacking.
It's like the newest version of the E-Trex. You know how the E-Trex, did you ever use an E-Trex?
Yep.
It just was kind of like the bulletproof.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, it just was
worked.
Good. People still use it.
Yeah.
It's like the new version of that, right? It's just stripped down, just what you need, right? Just what bikepacking ultra endurance needs. I mean, the Dura is incredible. I can't say enough good things about it. Yeah, and it's $250.
Yeah.
Compared to like 600.
Yeah, and the battery lasts forever.
I don't understand how that works, but good on them, you know. And Coros is a running watch brand first, and they make incredible running watches too that last forever. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I might try it next year.
What about lighting? Did you use sort of similar lighting setups on the Triple Crown?
Yeah, pretty much always those Phoenix lights with the replaceable batteries.
Okay.
Just seems like the easiest that I've found to take a battery in and out and take extra batteries. And the battery life seems pretty good. Like, granted, I switch it between high and low a lot, climbing or descending.
Actively manage it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
I know that there's another brand that kind of automatically changes. I can't remember the name of it, but changes like your light depending on the terrain or something.
Oh, it's got like a photoreceptor on it, and
it's got something.
Dims or brightens.
Yeah.
I've had a headlamp that does that. That's pretty interesting idea.
Yeah. I've wanted to try it, but man, another $500 for that thing.
Yeah. You got a drive shaft to pay for.
My $100 drive shaft from a junkyard got me here from Tucson today. A 2-hour drive.
Oh man. All right, let's do a couple bonus rapid fire questions. And then we'll wrap up. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. If you could only pick one tire to ride for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Maxxis Icon.
Should have known. What's your favorite dirtbag bikepacker trick?
Dirtbag. Man. I feel like everything I do is dirtbag.
You did allude to you put the bag over when your rain jacket broke. I would say that's a pretty good.
Yeah, the bag or like plastic baggies over like the handlebars. I did that in Tour Divide.
For what purpose?
Just extra water protection.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It sort of worked.
Yeah. Right.
That's probably pretty dirtbag.
Maybe a little heat.
Big gallon Ziplocs. Cut a little slit in it.
That qualifies.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your best or worst resupply experience of note?
Probably Silver City Tour Divide. It's kind of like this. It's a weird town. It comes out of nowhere, it seems like. And someone was complaining out front about my bike. Of course, you couldn't bring a backpack inside the place.
It's the middle of nowhere, Silver City.
I mean, it's not middle of nowhere. It's pretty big city, but it's like, and it's like the last resupply on the Tour Divide. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I've never had an issue with somebody with a backpack going in. That was it.
Yeah.
And then like, there's nobody to check out, and it's like the last thing I want to do when I am resupplying at like a major grocery store, when they have the self-checkouts.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to do is find the frigging barcode on everything
Right.
and scan that myself. That's the last thing I want to do when
Right.
when at the end of a race. And there's nobody to do it for you, which is why I don't try to go to gas stations if I can. Because it's just, there's always somebody to scan it.
Right.
It's simpler and easier. More expensive, but.
Dude, grocery stores are a fucking nightmare.
I don't know why I went to the grocery store there.
Gas stations are where it's at, especially when
Yeah.
you're all like, you know, you've practiced that.
Yeah.
It's the move.
Yeah.
And the last one, what's one piece of advice you'd give to a new endurance athlete?
What were we saying earlier about counting the calories?
Mm-hmm.
Start smaller than you think you need to and progressively work it up. Like, if you start too big, you're probably going to get maybe less motivated, and you need to feel some easy success at first, I feel like, and then build upon those small successes and gradually work it up. Like, I guess a bigger picture would be like, I did the AZT 300 before I did the AZT 800 with a plan to do the 300 first and then do the 800.
Yeah.
Just like build up to the bigger thing. Like maybe do half the CTR for fun or something at first. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like you're going to want to quit.
Yeah.
You're going to want to quit. There's a lot of people that quit. It's just about the worst feeling ever when you do quit after a couple days or something. It's like you just don't want to go there. You don't want to start off doing something and ending up not doing it. You want it to be successful.
Yeah. I second that. All right, dude. Let's tell people, sponsors, where they can find you and your sponsors.
Yeah. So for this year, sponsors, Morrow Packs out of Marquette, Michigan, helped me a lot. James Morrow, pack custom frame bags for all my bikes. The dialing in the fit, his attention to detail, around the shock, any request, custom request, is always taken. Always replaces stuff that has failed, so zippers, whatever it be. And then the custom top tubes, the long top tubes, the mini top tubes, whatever you want. Pretty much dialed that in on 4 of my bikes with him. So I recommend working with him. And then the Kind Bikes and Skis out of Edwards, Colorado, has helped me with Specialized, getting bikes. I raced on an Epic 8 this year in the CTR and AZT. And they basically any issues I had, always taken care of. So if you're in Colorado, that's the place to go.
Cool.
I guess feel a little bit bad supporting Specialized, but
Dude,
there we go.
I'll say I have a Evo and an Epic Evo, and it's the tool for the job for riding around here.
Yeah.
I was on the fence between a Pivot and an Epic Evo, and got to do what you got to do.
I do. Yeah. For the bikepacking trail races, that Epic 8 or Epic Evo
it's the best.
Yeah.
It's an incredible bike for this kind of terrain.
Yeah.
So, and your Instagram, Schultzy 954.
That is correct. Schultzy, my trail name that most people yell at me out there in the races.
Mark Caminetti, is he flagging you down? Just kidding.
Comes out of a cholla bush or something.
You saw that clip I sent you, right? Did you see that? Oh, okay. I'll show it to you later.
I don't think you did.
Yeah, he we'll end with this. He when I was interviewing Tyler Arnett, again, Tyler Arnett, who did Ride Across Arizona, Mark Caminetti like flagged him down and was like, hey, what are you doing at the finish? And ended up helping him out at the finish. And he had a really great experience. So he ended up staying with Mark.
Tyler had a good experience.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark has been really nice to me and very supportive.
I got to meet this guy. So,
But he also can go pretty far the other end with taking things very far, which is just his passion in bikepacking coming out maybe a little too much.
Bro, there's a lot of extreme personalities in this extreme sport, okay? You're probably the most like neutral guy I've ever met, right? Like, I haven't seen you when you're self-destructing out on the trail, but I have a feeling that you're pretty like, you know, even keeled when things go wrong. And,
yeah, I am. That's what's probably been my best strength, is just always keeping everything calm.
Yeah.
And everything's going to be okay. None of it really matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
It matters, but you know, you're not going to die.
Yeah.
You get out of it.
Yeah. And so most of us in this sport are, you know, whatever, trying to hunt for some solution to some personal problem or something, myself included, or some sort of self-torture for whatever reason, you know? So, anyway, I got to meet Mark Caminetti. So,
Yeah, you do.
all right, Alex, congratulations on the last couple years of everything. And, yeah, thanks for spending time with me today. It's been awesome to get to know you.
Thanks for racing today.
Yeah.
I want people to race these Arizona endurance events, and what better setting to do a podcast after?
Absolutely. And
So-
I'm stoked that you're in Tucson for part of your time. So
I'm in Tucson pretty permanently.
yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, thanks for coming out to race, and thanks for bringing the show out here.
Yeah, you got it, man. All right. Have a good, safe travels home.
Thanks, dude.
Cheers.